Oh, yeah. Okay, let's start. 8 hours later. Fucking Joker. Thumbs down. Dislike.
Going outside, just like I like it.
Pretty big fish to fry. Pretty big fish to fry. My, pretty big fish to fry. Pretty big fish to fry. My. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give the world a try. I was alive.
Oh, everybody, it is March the 22nd. For those of you checking it out via the podcast world, for those of you snuggled in on the East Coast with snow hitting us again, joining us Facebook Live, it's Wednesday, March the 21st. You're checking out the #1 rated premiere, as they say. The kids are saying it's lit. Sports and beer podcast coming to you from the East Coast of this country. We may get a check-in from the Midwest tonight at some point. But before we go any further and discuss the sports of the week, it's time to sit down. Well, first let's go to the fridge, grab a cold one, pop the top, take a sip, and
Why
right.
don't you go back home to your street malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh yeah! The greatest beer in all Zephyr!
Somebody from the bar.
Yeah, I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of party. Stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge.
So tonight I bounced between a couple of them. They were both local. They're both from the Cane Brewing Company down here by me, and two excellent beers. The one I had decided not to drink was a Sunday brunch from last year, which would be appropriate for the weather around here, which is snowing fucking again. But instead, I went with an apiary from Cane Brewing Company from this year. It is delicious.
Looks like a big bottle.
It is. It is a big bottle, and it is barrel aged in white wine barrels. It's a saison. It's awesome. That's what I got. Bubby.
Delicious.
Was that me?
Yeah, fast Bubs. I know you're.
Not tonight, my friend.
He's suing. Artist formerly known as Fast Bubs.
Yeah, we have an Instagram problem. I just took a sip of this for the first time. It's amazing. The can looks a little bit like Lucky Charms.
I never knew they could make a beer that tastes like Lucky Charms.
It's called Magically Bullicious from Bolero Snort, and it is a stout with milk sugar, cocoa nibs, coffee, and vanilla. Now, stout, right? You think stout, but oh, look at this! It's
Flip the script on a stout, why don't you?
It's a golden stout.
Nice.
Similar to a golden shower.
Very similar to a golden shower.
Yum.
And here's the best part: it tastes as good as a golden shower.
What?
Oh God.
We can't let that one just go.
What's the percentage alcohol on your golden shower beer?
6% even.
There's
That's a little light.
Boo.
There's no way that for the rest of time I'm not going to refer to this podcast as the night that you drank a golden shower.
Okay, that's fine. I'll own it. I will own that.
From the District of Columbia, he's been snowed in with his children all day long, and we're lucky he's here and not like hung somewhere from the tree or totally drunk off of his ass. Who knows? Maybe the latter's happening.
Is that snow or something else under your nose?
Hey, babe.
First and foremost, I'd be remiss if I didn't send a quick congratulatory comment out to President Putin on his reelection.
True.
For our listeners,
Hard fought.
Very fair, honest election, and
No
that's
doubt.
the
Still,
important
we
thing.
do still have listeners in Russia. I checked last week, and there's our Russian contingent of 2 listeners is still holding strong. So
Are they ballot stuffers?
They're golden shower ballot
ask,
stuffers.
ask them to check in and see what they say.
how do you say How do you think you say golden showers in Russian? I think that's something we need to look up.
Golden shower sky.
I don't think so.
Okay. Moving on. I am drinking a beer that I can't pronounce. We've talked about it, I think, on this podcast before. I don't know if anyone's had it on air. Is it a hard X? How do you pronounce an X when an X
This is
leads?
the one that Kove said was the best beer of all time.
I don't know that I said that, but it's excellent. Jokovesa.
Jokoveza, or as I call it, Exokoveza.
Good one.
From Stone Brewing Company. It's an imperial stout inspired by Mexican hot chocolate. Now, if you've ever had a Mexican hot chocolate, you should kill yourself. But if you haven't, you should try this beer. I'm drinking it in a nice Super Bowl 42 New York Giants champions glass. Brett, you might recognize that logo.
Looks good. I love it.
Okay, cool.
Золотой душ.
And then I do
Золотой душ.
golden shower. This is a stout that is not golden, but damn, does it taste like chocolate? It's delicious.
It probably in that glass too. It tastes like victory, doesn't it?
It tastes like something I would feed my child at about 4 o'clock when I was tired of hearing from her.
It tastes like, you follow the rules and you work hard and sometimes it doesn't go your way, but sometimes it does.
It's a great lesson, Jeff. You're a parent. I hope you part that knowledge on your children. That is great.
Nicky Parsippany, what's up?
I got some, let me see, River Horse Belgian Freeze.
How was that? Did like a kid write that?
That's their labeling. The Belgian style ale. It's amber in color. It's very, very caramelly. A little too much caramel for my liking.
Is it caramel or caramel?
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 Caramel.
Caramelly? Carmelo?
Stay mellow.
Who cares?
So your boy Rory McIlroy, Brett, he
Yes.
lamented abusive fans and suggested that they should limit the sale of alcohol at some of these PGA Tour events.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. I like it. He lamented them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, like he really thought about it.
Well, let's congratulate him first on winning for the first time in like 3 years.
I think he said this before he won, though, didn't he? I think he did.
Yes, he said it over the weekend.
And
Yeah,
then
so
proceeding to get his
before-
shit pushed in today in the WGC match.
Who cares? It's match play. Who cares?
Unknown guy.
But sub story before we get to this, before we talk about Rory, I didn't really watch a lot of the tournament on Sunday because I was glued into golf for most of the day.
We were watching another tournament.
Tiger was making a run, but then he decided to hook a ball so far left on like 15 or 16 out of bounds. It was ridiculous. And Rory made a run. And
You
this
know
was
why
after.
that happened. Did you hear his press conference after?
I did not.
So through the entire tournament, he was good, and then at about hole 16 on Sunday, he just got away from his Buddhism and he hooked one really hard left.
Oh, is that what it was?
That happens. I've seen it. I've seen guys get away from their Buddhism. You don't- you
Eckerd's
don't
done
want
that a lot.
It was very annoying though because Rory made these comments about fans and alcohol sales, and I think he was more. He made a comment something along the lines of, at first it was just beer and that was okay, but now I look around and everyone's got a cocktail in their hand. Now, Dave, I know you're a big transfusion drinker, so maybe
Oh,
you've had a
no.
couple out on the tournaments.
I love me a tranny.
But I don't know, man. I got Justin Thomas the other week, and friend of the show, yes, but still, getting a fan kicked out last week because somebody rooted for his ball to go in the bunker, and now Rory doesn't want anybody to drink. These guys come off soft.
Golf is soft.
It's totally soft.
I think the game itself.
The athletes
is-
are soft.
I don't.
Everybody make a fucking pipsqueak and they're like, shut up.
I don't call any of them soft anymore. Even all right, there's two sports, right? We got basically golf and tennis, right? You can't say anything
Why?
while things are going on.
It's a
And
game
now
of concentration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baseball isn't?
No.
No, it's not. Of course it is. No,
Baseball's
you're
a game
right.
of steroids.
Of course it is.
I mean, at least the ball's sitting on a tee in golf. The ball's going 95 inside in baseball.
I don't know, but those are just the rules of the game. That's the rules of the game. And golf has this thing called this underlying thing with etiquette about the way you're supposed to carry yourself. Well, you have to wear certain things to play. It's just, that's the way the game is. And I don't know. There's a line between, look at something like the Phoenix Open that happens every year. And that is just a absolute shit show for a weekend. And it's one of the more fun tournaments that golf has. So golf needs to, continue to progress that way rather than having to deal with these things like, oh, throw a fan out because he rooted for my ball to go in the bunker because they had cocktails on them instead of beer.
You know what? Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Because you know what? There's going to be alcohol sales forever.
In any sporting event.
That's right. Too much money.
Especially NASCAR.
Oh, it's my favorite. My favorite. If you stood on the fence as a car comes 200 miles an hour, you shut your mouth, Jeff.
Who put this one? You shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. Who put this in for AAA baseball about the runaround segment?
Probably Nick.
Read it.
Yeah, I saw that one. In AAA baseball, they're trying to implement a rule where the runner will start on second base in the 10th inning. Now, I know this is like some sort of time issue, I guess, but this wouldn't really affect that many games. So I don't understand why they're trying to implement this. I'm not really a big fan of these recent time constraining rules that they've implemented.
You're a purist. You're a baseball purist, Nick.
So let me get this straight. So let's just say the home team, gets last licks, right? So the visiting team starts the 10th inning. They have a guy on second. They score. Go into the bottom of the 10th. There's a guy on second then too, right? So they put guys on second base back to back
and belly to belly,
right? So but there's really no advantage to anybody.
It's like college overtime.
I guess they're trying to hope that someone gets a single in the top of the inning and scores them, and then the home team chokes. I don't understand
the
the philosophy.
Concept as college football overtime. Don't overthink it, dummies.
Which is stupid.
Do you think it's with the intention of piloting it to see if it would work for?
I guess. I think that if they ever implemented that in the MLB, though, there'd be riots and outrage.
Well, it would be okay in regular season games, but it wouldn't be okay in playoffs.
I agree.
No, I don't think it would be either.
Cares. Baseball stinks.
Nick, this is you. You have an NBA rant.
Oh my God. This is
my
Monday night.
My whole life is an NBA rant.
So I really haven't been watching the Nets because they just are boring.
Why would you not be watching?
I think if I go back to the show before the season started, we both were a little optimistic about the Knicks and Nets seasons, that they wouldn't necessarily make the playoffs, but that they'd be competitive and better. They've both just been garbage the last 3 months.
The Knicks, I was thinking about this the other day because the Knicks over-under at the beginning of the season was, I think, 40 or 41 games to win. They're at 26.
Yep.
So that ain't happening.
No, but Porzingis doesn't go down. They hit that number.
Oh, sure.
They do. I mean, you're losing.
But anyway, the Nets.
All right, anyway, this is a quick story. I tune in. There's 3 minutes left. They're winning. I was like, let me just watch the game. They're playing the god awful. Who was it?
The Grizzlies, wasn't it?
The Grizzlies, yeah. Who are tankathon with the Nets. So anyway,
they're better at it. They're better at it than both New York.
They are better because they're doing it right, along with Dallas, because their owner said so.
Right.
So someone gets fouled on the Grizzlies, right? They miss the first. They make the second. Now, once they make the second, their own coach calls timeout. There's a timeout. They go to commercial. They come back from commercial. They're trying to inbound the ball now, and the Nets are swarming them, and they can't get the ball in, so they call timeout. Goes to another commercial. Now they come back from commercial. They inbound the ball. It knocks off a Nets and Memphis player simultaneously out of bounds on the inbound pass. Now they have to review it. So now they stop the game again. Meanwhile, I'm watching this for about 12 minutes, and nothing has happened. Nothing.
Yeah. What's wrong?
They finally get the ball in. They make a three. The Nets start panicking. They call timeout. Now there's 4 timeouts in the matter of 15 minutes of real time and 12 seconds of game time. Why are these teams allowed all these timeouts? Like, if you don't use them in the first half, you should lose them.
That's why hockey's awesome.
I mean, it was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
You want my honest opinion on the whole thing?
Yeah.
No.
There's one person to blame for that.
And who's that?
Greg Popovich.
And it's you.
Oh,
You sat there and watched that slop for 12 minutes while nothing was going on a team that has 20 wins and has absolutely no shot.
I couldn't believe that they both had like 4 timeouts left with like 2 minutes left in the game. How are you allowed to have all those timeouts? Hockey, you get 1 timeout. Football, you get 3 each half. I mean, at least make it each half.
But football, you get 3 each half, but you also get a built-in timeout every time somebody scores a touchdown and every time somebody kicks an extra point.
Basketball has the automatic timeouts for TV too as well.
Not in the new American Association of Football.
Oh, God. Vince McMahon's going to be pissed.
Who cares?
Let's get through this, please. The NFL Competition Committee has made new recommendations for the catch rule. Who saw what they were? Nick, was this you? Did you see what they were?
I did not see.
I saw what they were.
I know that they finally ruled, as I think you told us, Brett. It was
I don't think we can trust Brett to tell us as a Pats fan.
They finally ruled that Dez Bryant catch was a catch. Right?
Yeah, which is great.
So that's good for Dallas fans.
Why would you ever say that? Why would you ever go back on record and say that?
Because they're idiots.
It's like these guys. It's like these guys. It's like the Jets, and they're saying now, like you guys were talking about last week. Why, in their godforsaken mind, would they say he's the starter in March? Why? It's the same thing. Why do you feel compelled to go back and justify a couple more weeks of asshole Cowboy fans ranting about, oh, we should have won that game? Well, you did.
Right. Number one, they're right.
Okay, well, they didn't.
No, I agree with you. But look, the bottom line is after this year, they had no choice but to figure this shit out, right?
It was like every week there was something.
But they made it worse. They're going to make it worse. That's the problem.
You think it's going to get worse?
How did it get worse?
How?
All right. Well, here are the recommendations. 1, control. Okay, control.
Hold on. Time out. The recommendation is like if there's a bulleted list, it's like
there is a bulleted list.
There's
3 bullets, and 1 bullet has a subsection of 3 more. So here's the first thing: control, which I think is fair. Okay, 2 feet down. The second bullet, 2 feet down, or another body part. I also think that's fair.
That's not new, but go ahead.
Number 3, a football move such as 1, a third step, 2, reaching/extending for the line to gain, or 3, the ability to perform such an act. What the shit does that?
The third one, that makes no sense.
The third one sounds like your beer.
The ability to perform an act.
The ability to perform such an act. And I can't see how that
under that guideline every day.
That's very, very easy to understand.
Can't get it right. They just can't fucking get it right.
Exactly.
All right. What is that? It is that the?
That's it. Those are the recommendations.
So nothing has changed from last year then.
Well, it has because that whole like movement of the ball bullshit is probably going to be gone. The surviving the ground thing is gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
The one that kills me is the ones near the goal line, right, where the guy makes a catch and extends for the pylon, but he loses it as he's going out of bounds because he was a receiver.
Yeah.
Because he was a receiver, it's not a touchdown. But if you're running with the ball and you do that, it's a touchdown. That never made any sense to me.
Well, that to me is the easiest fix, and I don't understand how they haven't done it. And we're not the first guys to obviously say this, but why are there different rules for a guy that caught the ball and is running versus?
Sounds like they're trying to fix that now.
It's fucking nonsense. So
who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares?
All right, let's go to the tournament.
Ugh, let's not.
We do. Well, you've had a little bit of a rough week.
A little.
We are in a situation right now where we have $100,000 on the line right here. Loyal low and outside listener Chris Gannon is leading the charge right here at the top of the bracket. There is not a low and outside podcast member within the top 3, so it's looking like it's possible that $100,000 might be going to somebody.
Wow.
Which is exciting.
In fact, I'm in last place, so fuck all y'all.
Yes, your bracket is in fact in last place. I don't think Nick did one, so there's that.
Well, I would have been in last place too,
right,
based on what my other bracket did.
You didn't do one, fill one out called Foodie?
No, I didn't.
Saucy 16.
Nick's saucy bracket.
Yeah, but do you want to talk about anything that you had to endure this week, or anything that you don't have to give specifics, but anything that you saw that definitely was not how you expected it to
Double
go.
down, always.
Well, I saw a lot that I didn't expect. The weekend had a lot of ups and downs from Thursday to Sunday.
More downs than ups, to be honest.
Well, started a little rough for me. Had some nice recoveries on Friday. Then I pissed it away on Saturday. Earned it back Saturday night, and then proceeded to just shit my pants on Sunday with heavy money line bets on Michigan State and North Carolina, thinking they're going to win. They're going to win these games. They should win these games. And if they played those games 10 times, they probably win 8 or 9 times out of 10. But you got to give Michigan or you got to give Syracuse credit. I mean, they played their fucking zone to a T, and Michigan State just could not hit a three-pointer. I mean, they missed 29 three-pointers. 29. They missed 29.
Yeah, that's not going to happen this week.
No, of course not. So they're gonna run into a saw there, but goddamn, that game fucked me hard. And then North Carolina just got the doors blown off of them. I did not see that coming.
It was lovely. I do think that Brett owes you an apology, though.
All right.
Yeah, you do owe me an apology.
No, I do not. I will admit I was wrong. I will not give you an apology because
Are we talking about my 16-1?
Yes, because presented with that same scenario again, I still wouldn't take the bet.
And I get it. So let's go back. For the people who weren't listening a couple weeks ago,
Wait, hold on. For the people that weren't listening, why weren't
2 weeks ago?
Why weren't you listening 2 weeks ago?
Well, yeah, go fuck yourself and download Low and Outside Sport.
Welcome. We appreciate your patronage.
Twitter, all that garbage, whatever we're on, social medias.
Find me on Instagram.
I think we're on channel 85 on Sirius XM. I'm not sure.
Go ahead. Tell us.
I told the guys that we should put $100 on each 16 seed every year moving forward in the hopes that at some point one of them would hit and it'd probably be a decent payoff. Now, to Brett's point, Brett was saying that's the worst idea ever because no one in the history of the tournament, it's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
To be fair, he wasn't alone. The rest of us weren't exactly.
No, you guys all poo-pooed it. And of course,
how many tournaments have there been? 135 or something, right? Is that what it was? Like I saw one seeds were 135-0 against 16 seeds.
No, but there's 16. There's divide that by 4. But
okay, still. But imagine if we were alive for all those tournaments and we put $100 on each team all those times, we would have been really in the hole.
Congrats on your college degree, Nick.
And if we can keep doing it every year from here on out, we're going to get really in the hole.
Yeah. Listen, I get it. Okay. But the worst part about it for me was I sat there and looked at that line and all the statistics on UVA's first round games and was like, the amount of money I've spent on other teams and other bets, how do I not have a sack to put $100 on UMBC?
Yeah, but hindsight's 2020.
Of course it is, but it's just like I said it on the podcast. I talked shit about it. I was going to take UMBC plus 21. I didn't even touch it. That would have been good enough.
It would have, but I'll tell you this: I know that you're not the biggest basketball fan. Did you watch a lot of Virginia this year?
I caught a bunch of games because the ACC network has like a local feed here, and they're on all the time.
So you legitimately thought that Virginia had a chance to? You didn't think they had a chance to lose that game? You probably.
Oh no! I thought their defense was insane, and UMBC wasn't gonna fucking hang. I mean, UMBC? Come on, they're up by BWI Airport. This is a joke.
I will tell you though that having watched them play Kansas State in that second round game, they were a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun for me too. That game.
Well, look, I can't speak to your gambling habit, but I can tell you from just a strict basketball fan, it reminded me a lot of, and this is not the first time I've made this commentary. It reminded a lot of the Dellavedova defense that he played in that one finals game. They had guys diving all over the floor. They were playing like a team that knew they had no business being there and were leaving it all out there on the floor. It was everything that the hyperbolic college athletic experience people that are college purists talk about. That's what this team was. And so it's good for the tournament to have it. I wish they hung around another weekend, but eventually they just
listen. It was awesome to watch. I enjoyed watching it. I watched the whole game. I thought it was awesome. Watching that game, you're sitting there the whole time going, okay, UVA, all right, it's halftime. They're losing. We've seen this before, UNC Wilmington a couple years ago, whatever. Then the clock just starts ticking down on them. 15 minutes left. You're like, they're going to turn it around here. 10 minutes left. Oh, they got to start turning it around here. And then you're like, oh, Every shot Virginia hit, UMBC had an answer.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was insane.
That coach is going to get pizzade.
Yeah, totally.
Somebody's going to way overpay that guy.
But it feels like it's been a wacky tournament, and it's so easy to say that now because we're in it. We probably forget the way it felt a couple years ago, whatever. Every year you forget, but it feels like there's a lot of high teams going down. I mean, every team in my Calcutta is out. Tennessee, Wichita State, North Carolina. Fucking disaster.
For me, my I mean, I'm sure I'm not alone, but my South bracket, put Virginia aside for a second. My South bracket is a lot of red.
Yeah.
Like everything else I did
Yeah,
okay.
I was just exiting out all my teams.
Oh boy.
Kind of red.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh Christ.
There goes the neighborhood.
Here we go.
What are you guys talking about?
NCAA.
The draft.
We're talking about college basketball. Do you have any opinion on college basketball?
For those
Yeah,
of you who
it's
don't
great.
know this voice, this is former Low and Outside college football analyst Sean. Don't call me Scott Farrell.
Turned professional weightlifter.
True.
That's right.
Very swole right now.
Well, to give you my point of view on NCAA tournament, I think it's great. That's all I got.
And goodbye.
It's great. Appreciate the
goodbye.
insight.
That was worth the call in, I think, right there.
Jeff, doesn't this kind
I
of
think
ruin
it's
the
still working
integrity
out.
of the regular season, though, of NCAA basketball?
Why?
Because it doesn't mean anything.
I don't think that's true.
Why not? I mean, these teams that are getting upset, what does it matter if they're the 1 or the 2 seed or the 3 seed? They're losing in the second round.
Are you saying you don't like upsets, Nick?
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds
Like
like.
that?
I'm saying like
rooting for
you
the Patriots and the Yankees to win all the time.
I'm saying like you lose a few games in the regular season. What does it matter?
I know a guy who does that.
Well, to be fair, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, Dave, who went to Villanova, and it was right after.
Not me.
No, different Dave.
Yeah, and you guys aren't friends either.
True story. Right after Villanova had lost in like December or something like that, and I just sent him a text message. I'm like, it's good to lose in December, and he's like, that sounds like somebody who roots for Duke, and it's like, listen, man, like it is good to lose before you go into the tournament. It's a foolish endeavor to try to run the table in college basketball. It doesn't make any sense. But to your point, Nick, I don't think that means that the regular season is meaningless.
Well, it's not meaningless, but I'm saying Virginia dominated all year. They won the ACC tournament, and then what does it mean? It means nothing. I mean, if you talk about college football, games in September mean almost just as much as they do in November, December.
I don't even know where to start with you on this one right now, but this is a whole separate podcast, and I can't deal with you right now.
I also
Can't
don't think it's true. I mean, if you look at this year, Sean, are you still here or did you bail?
Yeah, I'm here.
So
Can't you hear him
talk.
breathing heavily? He's walking on the treadmill.
It's true. He's at 3.5. He's very tired.
Incline 2.
So the question that I have for you then is the teams that were our Final Four teams in college football. Would you say that their regular season didn't matter?
No, but I'm saying that. No, who you
The
talking
question
to?
was for me.
Yeah, I'm talking to Sean. Yeah.
God damn.
Who is this?
First time caller. I don't think that I think Nick's right in that every win matters in college football. They're different sports and they play so many more games. It's very different. The one thing that I would say was devalued as you look through like selection process and all that was conference play. They didn't really like the way that they seed and they do all that stuff. It's almost as if it doesn't matter.
For
It's a matter
basketball,
of like they look at every game separately.
For basketball.
So regular season for basketball, yeah. Sorry, we're breaking up here, but I didn't like that. I do think there's more to scheduling than there ever was because you want to peak at the right time. So I don't think it's the same conversation, but I think there's something to playing the right teams and playing them at the right time to prepare yourself for the tournament.
See, I'm definitely going to go out on a limb here and disagree with you in the sense that you look at a team like Kentucky, who now has a little bit of a clear path to the Final Four. Kentucky lost their last 4 games going into their conference tournament. So in traditional NCAA seeding standards, when they considered, how you were playing at the end of the year, they would have been way lower than a 5 seed. But instead, they come into the tournament at a 5 seed, and then you look at the rest of their bracket, and you've got Virginia out, which is a huge upset, and you got Tennessee out and Cincinnati out. So they're now
1, 2, 3, and 4, right?
They're now the highest seed in that bracket, but they lost their last 4 games going to their conference tournament.
Yeah, but that's a consequence of everyone around them, not them. I'd rather look at like a Michigan who's peaking at the right time and could play really good basketball, or a West Virginia who's playing really good basketball right now. Like, I have more faith in those teams going further because of that than Kentucky getting a little bit lucky because everyone around them got.
Oh, West Virginia. West Virginia's about to run into a buzzsaw.
Well, I need to.
You gonna bet on it?
I'm thinking about it. 5.5, 5 Villanova. I think Villanova fucking crushes them all day long.
Press Virginia.
I need to take some time here and talk about Michigan, because we had made some statements on the last show about how Michigan's guard play was not up to par enough for them to make an actual run at what's going on.
They got some Twitter beef.
And I got into some serious Twitter beef with some Michigan fans, and that's okay. That's totally fine. But I do need to continue the conversation here, especially because Sean said that he thinks that they're about capable of making a run. I do think that they have the talent to make the run, but I just want to throw this out there: the offense they had during the year has been non-existent in the tournament. They're shooting 28% from 3-point. And the guy that led them in scoring, Wagner, at 14 points per game, is averaging 8.5 points a game. So their guard play is doing exactly what we had said they were going to do here.
They are who we thought they were.
They're just well, okay. We can go ahead and
They are who we thought they were.
They're doing exactly what we thought they were going to do, but they've had a little bit of an easier road for it.
I don't know about that. I mean, Houston's got to hit. You got to hit your free throws. Okay, Houston hits their free throws, and Michigan's not winning that game.
I agree with you. So it's not something that they did to win rather than something that somebody else did to lose.
Yeah.
So now you're going up against an A&M team, which is 7 seed. Nobody necessarily expected them to get this far. They had to go through Carolina. I mean,
that's a game from a gambling perspective that you do not touch.
My point is, for the Michigan fans that got all bent out of shape, that we were talking about how the fact that they didn't have the guard play to get there. The stats back it up. You've played 2 games. You're shooting 28% from 3-point range, and your leading scorer, his point total has dropped off by nearly 6 points a game. If you can't tell me that you're not playing good basketball this time of year, you're not watching what we're watching. You won that game because Houston didn't hit their free throws, not because of your guard play. So we'll see what you do this week against A&M.
Sorry, you're saying that 28% is now or before? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Now.
That's what they're shooting in the tournament. They're shooting 28% in the tournament.
And of course, I got to hear all the Michigan fans say, "Oh, Michigan stink." Blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up.
And let me be clear. I think Michigan's a good team. I've always thought they were a good team, but they do not execute on certain areas that I think you need to do to be a Final Four team or to be a championship team. And
Sean, if you could stop.
What are those areas?
I don't think they share the ball well.
They don't pass well. Yeah,
they definitely don't pass the ball well,
fair.
and they do not shoot free throws well. And those
got to hit your free throws in March.
Huge things that you need to succeed on any level. So we'll see. I mean, look, the bottom line is UMBC didn't play that well all year long, and they knocked off Virginia. So all they got to do is play tight basketball for 4 more games, and nobody has anything to say. We'll see.
So let's talk about a couple of the interesting matchups that we got here this weekend. Your favorite school, Loyola Chicago.
Yeah. I still think they should get rid of those, by the way.
I don't know what to do here. My take is always from a gambling perspective, so I'm not going to say from a gambling perspective. My take is always from a gambling perspective. I have a problem. Loyola Chicago.
It's not your only one, but it's a problem. Yes.
One we'll talk about right now, though.
I mean, what do you see out of this game? An 11 versus 7 in the Sweet 16?
Well, I think when you look at the two teams, Loyola Chicago's got 28 wins, and Nevada's got 27. So you can't it's tough to compare when you're looking at different conferences. But Loyola Chicago doesn't score nearly as well as Nevada does.
But they got the old lady.
Yeah, but she even picked them to lose in this round.
Oh, she did?
Fucking Dolores, man. She's been waiting 100 years for this. It's been
Wait,
great.
what's the name of? Is that the same lady from Minneapolis?
Dolores.
I feel like everyone's name is Dolores. Well, Sean, where are you?
I'm in my house.
It's like sounds like you're in a dungeon. Just popped a Miller Lite.
Because we got no video of you for those of you that are.
Probably got high ceilings.
We've got just that bouncing blue face.
I'm not showing video because I'm drinking contraband product.
Oh,
I will tell you this, Yampo. If you look at the way that the game breaks down, this is not anything that nobody else can find out. Loyola Chicago has not played a top 32 team. They don't have a single win or loss against them. Nevada's 1-2.
They beat Tennessee.
Take what you will with that.
I know you're not counting the tournament, but they just beat Tennessee.
I'm just talking about breakdown. From
all right. Well, they're 1.5-point dogs, and I'm not touching the game. But I think Loyola. I'm root for the underdog since I don't have any money and the bracket is a shit show. Let's go for Loyola.
What's the line?
1.5.
So it's a pick 'em essentially.
Okay, good cocaine joke.
If we were gonna restart the whole thing and I didn't have to repick the bracket because I don't think I had either of these teams there. Honestly, if it was a pick 'em, I'm taking Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, well, you got to buy the hook.
Just
get
for
them
the
at
fun?
+2.
No, I think they play good defense. They rebound the ball pretty well, and I think in a tournament game, the expectation of scoring 80 points a game, which Nevada likes to do, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be tighter, and I think that leans Loyola Chicago's way.
Yeah. All right. That's an interesting one. Let's see what else is interesting. I don't know. A&M, Michigan. We already talked about Michigan. Who knows what A&M team's going to show up? The team that blew the doors off UNC shows up. Michigan doesn't have a chance.
True.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Kentucky has the easiest waltz to the Final Four now. Kansas State is marginal at best.
Did you hear Calipari? He was like, "I'm telling my kids, don't drink the poison. Don't drink the poison. Then nothing is an easy path."
Should drink it himself.
Oh my God.
I hate John Calipari.
Florida State, Gonzaga. And again, Florida State shows up one week. They typically play 25 to 30 minutes a game. Now all of a sudden they're fucking
knocking off Xavier.
Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Those are short games.
I know they don't play a whole game. Was the point of me saying that, Sean?
They do. Here's the advantage that I think Florida State has is I think that the fact that they play in the ACC is a huge advantage. Like they've played teams that are legitimate for the entire year.
Is this the week that Kansas goes Kansas? I don't know. Clemson. I mean, I had no doubt that Clemson was gonna win against Auburn, but I did not see a 40-point beatdown.
I don't know. I mean, I watched the entire Kansas Seton Hall game, obviously because I went there. So like I went to Seton Hall, so I obviously had a different perspective. I don't think if Kansas, based on what I saw last week, I don't think if Kansas faces a real talented team that they're going to beat them.
Here's the thing, and I watched that whole Kansas game too, only because I had a financial interest. And
you were betting against my team.
I know. I didn't say anything though.
And until I said something, and then you were like, "I hope they lose."
Well,
I thought we weren't talking about your betting.
Yes,
it was assumed.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible.
It's not possible. They're big
Not
men.
so fast, Pat Sajak.
They're bigs. They don't have a good down low game.
No, but they have the best guard in the country.
But their guard play is silly. But all it takes is one game and those guys go cold.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think Villanova ends West Virginia. I think West Virginia is overrated, and they've had a waltz with Murray State and Marshall.
Well, I have Villanova winning the whole thing. I think Villanova's the best.
Yeah. Duke, Krzyzewski is not. I'm surprised Izzo fell victim to the Boeheim zone. Krzyzewski won't, but I don't think Duke wins by 11.5. That's a big line.
I do.
Sorry, Jeff. Go back to Nova real quick. You had them as the best team in the tournament up front, or you say best team left?
I had them.
That's a big distinction.
I had them winning.
Okay.
But I don't know that I would have said they were the best team in the country going in. But just by the way that the bracket broke out, I had them winning.
Got it.
But I do think they're the best team left. As far as to your Duke and Syracuse commentary, here's the big reason why I would take Duke and I would lay the points is if you've watched Duke at all over the last couple of years and you've watched any of those Olympic teams that Krzyzewski and Boeheim were a part of, Krzyzewski basically took Boeheim's zone and just bit it. And it's just run it for the last couple of years, and he's run it very well. So
12 points is just a lot, and I've been getting killed on the backdoor cover.
yeah, but you're not going to get a situation where Duke's not going to miss the three the way Michigan State does. Their offense is too predicated.
Excuse me.
Although I will say this, that historically when Duke loses in the tournament, it's because they go cold and they rely too much on the three. However, I think this team with Bagley and Carter down low, they're just too balanced. I think they blow the doors off this area.
Well, you're good for a Grayson Allen, tripping or legs swipe the leg LaRussa style.
I don't think that even. I honestly don't even think it's going to matter. I think they're too talented. They're going to blow the doors off them.
All right, so I'm going to fade you because you're often wrong.
True story.
And then last but not least, probably one of the most interesting games, number 2 Purdue and number 3 Texas Tech.
Yeah,
that's a 1.5 point spread. I think
I have no read on that game. None.
Purdue
almost lost to Rutgers.
Who?
Purdue almost lost to them in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I know. Purdue's been squeaking out a bunch of
What's
games.
the line?
It's a 1.5.
I have no read on it whatsoever. It's going to be great though. I mean, this week is going to be great. There's going to be a lot of really great games.
Ugh, I told myself I'm not going to bet. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, right.
You know it's not going to happen.
It's got to happen because last week was a bloodbath.
Yeah, you got to win it back.
No.
All right, Sean, I'm glad you're here because I have a legitimate college football question that I asked you this week, and you've refused to answer it. You just keep telling me that it doesn't matter what happens, that my NFL team sucks. So you need.
And
to
I'll
answer.
stand by that. But I'll answer it.
It's tough to argue that point here, but here's the deal: the Jets made a huge move to move up 3 spots in the draft. There are by every expert's opinion, there are 4 quarterbacks in this draft. By moving up to 3, they ensure that they get one of them. Who's the best quarterback that you think is NFL ready out of this class?
Sam Darnold.
Okay, so let's assume he goes 1 because that's kind of how it's been played out.
Because he can throw balls in the rain.
That's exactly right. You've read my Twitter feed. You probably have alerts on my tweets.
Yes, he does.
Sean Farrell tweeted
his alarm clock. It actually rings out his entire house.
There are so many things I want to say and so many things that I could say, but you know what? I'm going to take the high road here.
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
The second best quarterback in the draft is who?
Gosh, I
Josh
feel like
Allen.
yeah, I guess there's a lot of.
You're not
honestly,
sold
I don't-
on. Like you're not convinced that there is a clear-cut second best quarterback.
Correct.
Okay.
I think there are reasons for each one of those remaining 3 to be a 2, but none of them are convincing enough for me to say that.
So let's throw it to, and I'm going to come back to you, Sean, because we're not at my salivating moment yet. So Yampo, let's assume Darnold goes off the board at 1. Your boys are sitting there at 2. Assuming they stay there, they don't trade the pick. So let's take that off the table for a second. If they're staying at 2, who do you want?
That's
them?
a big assumption, by the way.
I know, I agree with you, but
I think
let's just say they're there.
they got to take Barkley.
You think they're going to take Barkley?
They have to.
I would.
You got to take the best. You got to take the best player available off the board.
Okay.
In a position that you need too, right? Like, but
Yeah.
that's a
Well, they
nice,
just got
nice to
Jonathan
have.
Stewart. Hold on.
Good point. All right, so let's say the draft goes. Let's say that that chalk holds true. Let's say the draft goes Darnold and Barkley. Jets are sitting there at 3. Who's the best quarterback left for them to take? I'm talking to you.
Who are you asking?
There's only one guy that's watched college football as closely as you have. So who's the best quarterback?
I think you'll, and I'll say this because I think Baker Mayfield. I know you're forcing me into.
I'm not.
the number 2 quarterback question.
No,
but
well,
I think
I'm not. I'm legitimately asking, like, because you grew up in this market. You understand what this market is. You've worked in college sports. You understand what pressure is. You've looked at all these guys coming to play in the New York market, playing for a team that is historically a little brother that has not won a damn thing in 60 years.
Historically.
Right. Who fits that draft pick and can buck all of that and succeed?
I think Baker. I think he does have leadership qualities over the other 2 that that would put him in that position. I think the organization needs to spend a lot of time on him, to be quite honest, and get some of the off the field bullshit gone. But I think just if you look at how he can overcome a lot of stuff, he's a gamer, man. When he had some great comeback wins, he's had some good dog fights. You roll into Ohio State and you make a mockery of a top, I think, 5 team in the country at the time. I think
yourself.
he's got he's got a great arm. He moves a ton. I'm a little concerned about that though. I think he's got to learn to stick around a little bit in the pocket and like actually use his protection, but that's assuming that you're going to give it to him. So maybe it is good that he can scramble.
This segment is sponsored. This segment sponsored by Durex.
I will tell you this: if you look at the passer rating under pressure in college football this year, the number 1 rated quarterback under pressure is Baker Mayfield. He had 105.2 rating.
Here's the best part about that. Here's the best part.
He can spin it too, man. He does throw a good ball, even not under pressure. But he throws. I almost feel like he throws a better one under pressure.
Those of you who are listening and not watching, you can't see Jeff in his dopey fucking parking lot issued Jets cap. His
$10, yeah, $10 for hat, $10.
His parking lot issued Jets winter beanie. He's fucking pumping his fist as Sean is proclaiming Baker Mayfield to be the best pick at 3.
So, all right. So hold on. So this is the last selfish question I will ask. You're telling me that Baker's the guy.
Sean has no idea.
Twisted his words there.
Hold on. No. Assuming that it goes 1-2 the way we said, that Baker's is a pick that works there. Sell me right now as to why I should be excited about Josh Rosen, because it's not going to be Baker.
I was going to say, Jeff, I had something to say about that.
Because it's not going to be Baker. They're going to draft Rosen at 3. If he's there, they're going to draft him at 3.
No, look, Rosen's got a cannon. He didn't have a lot of tools around him, which he won't in the NFL if he goes to the Jets. But he can throw a dime. He's got a great arm, and I think he reads things well. He had a shitty defense too,
which he won't have if he goes.
The Jets have.
That's not true.
So he found a lot of games where he had to be on the field and throw the ball a lot, and that I think led to a lot of the troubles from a team standpoint. But if you give him the time and you allow him to make decisions, I think he makes good ones, and I think he puts a ball on a dime. So
is he an NFL quarterback?
Yeah, for sure.
Are all of these 4 quarterbacks, in your opinion, NFL quarterbacks, like starting NFL quarterbacks?
Tomorrow, NFL starting quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, let's say within 2 years, they're all quality starting NFL quarterbacks.
Yes, if Baker Mayfield doesn't get into the white lines of New York.
White lines. Do 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 do.
No, I think if he, I'll say yes. I think they're all quality quarterbacks. I think you also. The assumption...
Does he throw dimes, Sean? That's the real question here.
Yeah, Dilfer would be all over it.
That's right. Boomer Esiason in our market. I don't know if you've seen any of it, Sean, because you don't live here, but he keeps referring to the strong throwing arm as he throws a howitzer. What?
No, I think they're all quality. I think you're making some big assumptions, though, in the conversation around the Giants not...
Well, that's
trading because I think they can get what they want, which would probably be Saquon if they, if a Buffalo or somebody else comes up and takes that pick.
Okay, but let's look at Buffalo because Buffalo is the wild card. Buffalo's sitting at what, 12 right now, Yapo? Do you know?
I think they're at 12. Yeah.
I thought they were higher. Sorry,
that's
they were at 21st. They were at 21st, and then they traded up again.
I think the only team they stand a chance of still getting Barkley with if they trade with Denver.
Listen, the Giants, I don't need Barkley, and I don't think they need Barkley. If they get, like we talked about, a couple firsts and a couple seconds or whatever, they're holding the keys to the King's ransom. Here's a couple interesting things about the Jets trading up to 3. This is the first time I can remember in my 35 years on this earth that a team has traded up that much and given up that much, not knowing who they're going to get.
I don't think they gave up that much.
Okay, that's your opinion. 2, 36 years ago when the Jets drafted back-to-back.
And a belly-to-belly.
The Giants took Lawrence Taylor, and the Jets took Freeman McNeil. Dun, dun, dun,
Well, the reason I think that they traded up, though, on your point, is that I think they know who they're going to get.
I don't think they gave up that much. I'm sorry. I don't think they gave up that much. They gave up a second-round pick that they got from Seattle for Sheldon Richardson. They gave up their second-round pick. They gave up a future second-round pick. If you look at a
parking lot pretzel and a parking lot beanie.
If you look at the lot that people have had to give up to go get potential franchise quarterbacks over the last 10 years.
The Skins gave up the worst.
They gave up nothing. So if they end up getting any of these guys and they end up being a serviceable quarterback for 15 years, it's a victory.
Well, to your point, Jeff, they did an article that I read that pointed out to the teams that got the ransom, like the Browns,
right?
The Rams. Those teams that got those ransom picks, they went back and looked at them, and most of the picks didn't even work out anyway. So the draft is a crapshoot if you don't know how to analyze these guys well anyway.
Look, the Browns are in great shape right now. They've got 2 of the top 4 picks.
They'll fuck it up,
but they could have Carson Wentz,
right?
Or Deshaun
Watson.
So,
Brett, who do you want to see in green in the coming years?
You guys know I don't like draft talk, but
because you're always at the fucking bottom.
You trade out of the round, so it doesn't.
And you just draft nondescript white guy from middle, MAC athletic conference,
Middle Tennessee University.
Don't talk shit about the MAC. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, fine. The WAC.
You always take a wide receiver from BYU.
Yeah,
with the 31st pick in the 2018 draft, the New England Patriots select nondescript white receiver.
I guess I don't know. Let's
Not
see what Jeff,
white quarterback who's going to switch to receiver.
The Jets are taking Rosen. Is that what's happening?
That's what I think. Well,
I think Rosen sucks.
I hope the Giants draft him now.
He's got a knee and a concussion and an attitude. And honestly, that UCLA USC game, those 2 jerk-offs did not do it. That was not a good game for them. Sean, would you agree? That was the only game
I'd agree. I think the one thing I'd go back to, Jeff, you just said a 15-year serviceable quarterback. I don't think that's Baker Mayfield.
Why?
I think he'll burn out. I don't. No. In all seriousness, I don't. I think he's good. I think he has some great leadership qualities, and like I said before, and will perform well early. I just don't know if his style is the one that succeeds in a long tenured NFL career.
Because of the improvisation type of stuff, or because of the size? Like, what's the big reason? That
I'd say both of those 2 were the factors in my head. And like what would you compare? Like who would you say is the best scrambling quarterback? Big Ben,
Russell Wilson.
I think if you're going to compare him to anybody body size wise and skills, is probably Wilson in the league right now.
Yeah. I guess that's fair, but I don't think there's some. He doesn't have some of the intangible things that I think Wilson has.
Well, he's not the character guy that Wilson is. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I think the real question with Baker is he coming along at a time where the things that he does well are going to be actually valued at the quarterback position across the league, or are you still going to have 3 or 4 guys across the league that can do what they do? If that becomes what the position is going to be, where you're going to see guys that are more like Russell Wilson, that are more like Cam Newton, that do things where they're moving around a lot of like what Rodgers does, and you're going to see guys like Peyton, Brady disappear because it's not valued as much, then I think maybe it makes some sense. But I agree with you. If that's not what's happening here, maybe he's a 5 to 7 year guy in the league.
Give me Josh Allen.
That's the number I had in my head, or numbers I had in my head.
Yeah,
him and Mason Rudolph.
All right, Yampo, let's get off the Jets for a hot minute. Let's go to your Giants. If you had an opportunity to make the decision, if somebody came to you with a trade to get out of 2, what is the minimum that you would take from the Buffalo Bills, who sit at 12, to trade that pick?
First this year, first in 18, first in 19, a second in 18, and a second in 19.
That's a haul.
Wow. So a first and second for the next 2 years. Is that how you'd frame that?
Because you're moving out of the top 10. It's a big deal.
I was being very descript. Sean.
What about if a team like Denver comes to you and you can stay in the top 5?
First and a second.
So you're still
First and second this year, and a first next year.
still asking for 2.
When you're saying a first this year, you're just saying you want to trade your pick with their pick.
Yeah. So if you're switching
it's
with Denver, you're going from 2
So
to
you're
5.
not getting 2 first-round picks. You're getting
You're just
an
trading position.
additional first-round pick. Right?
That's right. So if I'm trading, yes, that's correct.
But so essentially, what you're asking for is a 2 this year
And a first.
and a 1 next year.
Yeah.
That's what it would take you to drop 3 spots.
Yeah, because I think.
Timeout. That's what you're saying. It would take you to drop 3 spots.
Yep.
The Jets just gave up 3 second-round picks to move up 3 spots, and you just killed them for it. Tell me again, they got fucking fleeced.
They got fleeced.
You just said that you wouldn't move 3 spots for.
They're gonna get the wrong guy. That's why they got fleeced.
Okay, that's not getting fleeced. That's poor management.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
Deal was a good deal.
Why
It was fair. It was
Why are
fair.
you using me as a negotiating chip to make yourself feel better about your Jets moving up that much, giving up that much, and not knowing who they're gonna get?
I think they know.
It's one thing to trade all the way up there, knowing you're gonna get your guy.
I think they know they're going to get their guy.
They know who they're gonna get.
Who's their guy?
I think they have inside info from
do you?
NFL people that they know what the Browns are going to do. They know what the Giants are going to do, and I think they have an idea that I believe Josh Rosen is the person they want, only because when you're going to hedge your future as a manager and a coach on a guy, I would prefer Baker Mayfield, but I think he's too risky to invest in. I think Josh Rosen is the much safer guy to hedge your bets with. So I think that's what they want.
Listen, they made a move. They made a move the day after they went to Rosen's pro day and 2 days after they went to Baker's pro day. They looked at that and they said, the Browns and the Giants are not taking either of these guys. We love both of these guys. We're going to get one of them.
I hope we fucked that up for you so bad.
No, yeah, but I don't think they rate them on the same level though.
I hope the Browns take Baker Mayfield and we somehow take Rosen, and then Darnold falls in your lap and you look like a hero.
I would hate Darnold. I want no part of him.
He's so soft, fucking
Why?
California waff.
I knew that was going to get a reaction.
Why?
Because he's a USC quarterback. How can I like a USC quarterback? Have you watched any of Mark Sanchez? How can I like him?
Yeah.
Come on.
I get
Carson
that.
Palmer was fine.
We've had this argument.
Sorry.
Carson Palmer's the only guy who's come out of there in the last 15 years.
John David Booty.
Matt
No,
White.
these guys are all garbage. First of all, the Pac-12 is soft in football and fucking basketball. Period. End of story.
And wrestling,
I think-
SJP.
Sorry, one thing though, Nick, you said they're looking for the long-term guy to protect their job. No coach is going to be in that position for longer than 5 years. The
Right.
Jets, they're looking for an immediate guy to step in and do that. So I don't know if they really give a shit about a franchise dude. I think they want somebody who can play and get wins.
I don't think they need anybody to play right now. They just fucking signed Teddy Bridgewater and they got McCown.
Yeah, but they're coming off back-to-back like 5-11
It's
seasons.
better.
They can't have another terrible year.
Bridgewater's deal. I don't know if any of you. I'm sure you didn't pay attention to it.
$5 million.
Yeah, but it's none of it's guaranteed.
Yeah, but
So they
here's the
could
thing.
cut him, right?
They're gonna cut if they draft a kid that looks great in camp. They'll just cut him going into the.
They should cut McCown.
He's a coach, though.
They're not going to cut McCown. There's no reason to cut McCown. They had the salary cap. You keep the guy. He's a great character guy. If he gets beat up by the rookie, he fucking mentors him the whole.
Dude, Teddy Bridgewater was the de facto starter in fucking Minnesota until his knee got torn up.
Right.
Yeah, he's made out of glass.
He got hit once.
Look, it is what it is. The bottom line is we got several.
No, you were pissed about that. Don't say it is what it is. You didn't understand it.
I still don't, except for the fact that I realized that his deal is completely non-guaranteed. So if you spent $1 million to keep Teddy Bridgewater in camp for the preseason and then you cut him, it doesn't matter.
So when the Browns take Darnold and the Bills trade up and take the 2 spot and take their quarterback and Saquon Barkley's available at 3, you skipping him?
Oh,
If Saquon Barkley's available at 3, I am on the phone with Cleveland.
to swap a spot and get maybe 1 pick later.
100%.
Interesting.
They're not going to take a quarterback.
But why wouldn't Cleveland just call your bluff and be like, just take?
why wouldn't they just wait for you to not to draft him?
Yeah.
Well, then you're on the phone with Denver behind them. I mean, like you have to leverage your.
This is why the Jets stink, because people like you are running their front office.
I find it fascinating that there's legitimately a possibility where the best player in the draft doesn't get drafted till the 4 spot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make
Coming
sense.
from the guy whose team
That's
drafted
because
Tom Brady in
the
the
best
fucking
running
sixth
backs
round.
sometimes get drafted in the 4th round.
I know. I it's crazy. I'm not saying the best player is always the number one player taken. I'm just saying it's crazy that I don't even think this is close. I don't even think these 4 quarterbacks are all that good.
I don't either. That's the problem
So,
I have
like-
with it.
Yeah, but when you don't have one, they all look a lot better.
Sean,
What's that?
you
He just
going
zipped up his fly.
You going into last year said that Saquon Barkley was your pick for the Heisman. You clearly think he's a great player. Are these
I think he's by far the best player in the draft.
are these quarterbacks anywhere near him?
No.
There you go, Brett.
Yeah, no way.
So none of these guys get me excited. It's not. That's why the Giants are either going to trade out or take Barkley.
I would take Barkley. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. We'll take him for you.
You have Odell, Evan Ingram,
Right.
Sterling
I don't know how much-
Shepard, Barkley, and you have a couple more years of Eli. You could literally win a Super Bowl in 2 years.
I don't know how
Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely.
No, I agree. But I don't know this whole Odell thing. When we were hanging out in France a
Wouldn't you
couple
trade
weekends
him?
ago,
Wouldn't you trade him right now if you could get two ones for him?
it's such a hard conversation for me to have because he's such an unbelievable talent. But god damn it, is he such a fucking headache?
If you could get 2 ones for him right now, you would take.
No
him.
ways. No one's getting 2 1s for Odell.
Why?
No way.
I think you're crazy. I think you're
there's plenty of teams that would do that.
2 first-round picks for a guy that you don't even know what the hell he's going to do on any given weekend.
But he hasn't done anything like TO wise. He's a little bit of a distraction.
I would put it this way: I would not trade 2 ones for him, but I can guarantee you that there are teams that would trade 2 ones.
I don't know how you position yourself to get 20 mil a year and you're fucking hanging out with a broad.
She's hot though.
I get it.
I'll put it this way: if you're a team like Minnesota, trading 2 ones for him, you just signed freaking Cousins, and you've got Diggs on the one side and Odell on the other. You make that deal right now, and then you've got a 3-year window where you can franchise Odell twice, and you're contending for a Super Bowl. There are definitely teams that would trade. Definitely. Not even
Completely unrelated. Did you guys see him dancing at Sterling Shepard's wedding? Because it was tremendous.
Yeah, I mean it was an epic dance battle.
It made me want to grow up in Atlanta or Louisiana or something.
Just like naming random regions where you think African Americans grow up.
That's not what I said.
You were like, oh, it makes me want to grow up in like Louisiana or
Camden.
Atlanta.
Oh, those are hot dance markets, bro.
Louisiana is like one of the worst states to live in.
Let the record show I tried to move on.
The record reflects Jeff Coviello.
Nikki, you added an NHL point here. Do you want me to give you a 2-minute minor here? And you
Not real. I mean, we kind of talked about it. The Devils are about to choke away their playoff chances.
Hold on, we talked about it off the air. We didn't talk about it on the air. So
That was enough.
I mean, I don't think anyone else cares besides Brett.
Brett, Nick, and I are all on edge here.
I'm getting fucking nervous. And, you know, going into the season, I didn't really know what to expect, but it's one of those things where once they pull you in, you get so hooked. You're like, if they don't fucking make the playoffs, I'm gonna blow a gasket.
I'm so mad at them because last year by December you knew.
Oh yeah, they were done.
You were like, oh okay, we're bad. Like that's totally fine. This year they like made you think. Like they were like, hey, we can like
yeah, they're giving me blue
this.
balls.
Yeah, like not only can we squeak in, we could make a serious like no team would want to play us.
Right.
And then they're just
they
like,
just
oh,
like dismantled the Vegas Knights 8-3 that one game about last week, and I was like ready to just orgasm. And now
the
next few games they're just like no.
Same old Devils now.
Same old dry hump.
Yeah, they ran up against Anaheim and San Jose, who are hungry for playoff spots as well. So they got to match the intensity. You know, they got to take one game at a time. Here's the problem: Florida Panthers have 2 games in hand, are 1 point behind for the final wild card.
Yes, and nobody above us is losing. Carolina,
No, I know.
Columbus
hasn't lost in like 2 weeks.
The only team that's really losing.
The games don't get any easier. We got Pittsburgh and Tampa back to back.
Exactly.
And the belly to belly.
Our schedule is horrid and has been horrid for most of the season, and especially in the past month or so. It's just I don't know. I don't feel confident about them getting in.
Hey Sean, how about those Blackhawks?
Officially out.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
that was the big headline here in Chicago. It's like, who didn't see that one coming?
First time in
Looking
10
pretty
years? 10 years?
Yeah, since 2007, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Say a decade. My Devils boys, give me the spot in the concourse at the Rock where large crowds can gather and grab a beer? Where's the best spot to do that?
It's right up next to the diabetes sandwich stand, Mr. Fields. You can get a 24-ounce Molson Canadian pounder up on the second concourse outside section 126. I know it's confusing. The second
by the
level
boardwalk food stand.
Yeah, it's right over there.
So here's the deal. On Saturday, this Saturday, March the 24th at 7 p.m., the Devils are hosting the Lightning. Your boy's going to be in the Rock.
You're going.
Be hanging out, rocking
your face,
rocking his old red, white, and green jersey.
Oh, beautiful.
I will meet you in between the second and third period. We will do a low and outside hangout. If you want to grab a pounder, I am in. You can come and you can find me there. You can see this stupid face right here. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, check out our Facebook page. You can see the dope in the Jets hat. I will be there between the second and the third period. Come grab a beer.
Is there a name on your jersey?
No, nameless. The only name that I legitimately thought about putting on it, since it's red, white, and green, was possibly like Driver or something like that, but I really didn't want to go that way.
Oh, should have done Stefan Richer.
I loved Stefan Richer. He was fucking awesome. But did he wear the red, white, and green? I don't know that he was there for that.
I don't think so. Yeah, good point. Niedermeyer, you can't go wrong with Niedermeyer because it just takes up like from shoulder to shoulder on the nameplate.
Good point. So anyway, if any of you guys are in town, you are interested in coming on Saturday, we're heading down there. A couple of guys that I work with, we're going down there
to the Arena Bar.
We're going to hit the barbecue joint across the street beforehand.
Dino.
And then we're going to go in and rock the Rock there.
You mean you're not going to go to the world's worst pregame bar that's just so crowded, ass to elbows, you can't even get a goddamn
All
drink?
the fat Devils fans.
What, Edison Ale?
It's the fucking worst. And then you go next door to that other place that wants to be like a hip, trendy club. Remember that place?
Yeah, but we celebrated the Devils beating
Stilettos?
the Rangers. At the
Stiletto. Is that your
there.
Doyle? That was my 30th birthday. The Devils beat the Rangers, and Chris, Pepe, and Brett and I, that was the best fucking 30th birthday of my life. My only one, actually.
That's the best 30th birthday of my life.
This is my best 30th birthday.
Housewife.
Listen, if you're a lifelong Devils fan, you can't chalk it up much better than being at the game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Rangers on your birthday, and you beat them to go to the Stanley Cup Final. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I went berserk.
Yeah.
Would you like to suck my cock?
I knew that was coming. Did
you just say making fuck? Shout out to Kevin Smith surviving a heart attack. We love you, buddy. We love you.
The Widowmaker.
Jersey strong. Listen, so
Red Bank.
Unfortunately, as we wind down the show tonight, we're about to go to last call. Our apologies to Drake. We ran out of time for the interview tonight, but probably next week.
Hang on, bartender. Give me one more of those scotch and Peptos. I got a case of squirts, but I still want to drink.
All right, let's put this baby to bed. Sean, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good. Do you have anything that I know you missed like the first half of the show, but do you have anything that we didn't maybe talk about that you wanted to bring up in last call?
I am so confident that you delivered tons of value to the listeners that I have nothing to say.
True story. Good talk. All right. Good. Thanks for popping in, Sean. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Nikki J, saucy savings. What do you got?
On a sombering, depressing note, Erik Karlsson, one of the Ottawa Senators captain, he had a stillborn child, and him and his wife are grieving over that. So that was really depressing to see. So condolences out to him and his family.
That just happened to Stahl too.
Where did you see that? Was that like on like?
That was, I think, this morning or yesterday. I forgot. Yeah. But he's one of my favorite players. He played last year against the Rangers in that series when they beat them on a broken foot the entire series.
Let me ask you a legitimate question. And this is probably more for the guys that have kids than for the two of you guys. But can you imagine being in a position where you're high profile enough that something like that happens in your life becomes news?
Mm-mm.
That's got to be really tough. Like it's got to be almost impossible to deal with. Period. And then having the fact that you're a high profile guy having to have that come out in the news, that's got to be terrible. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
The organization did a really good job actually of like kind of saying like they made a statement, but it was really, really short. And they were basically saying like, respect it. we're not answering anything, like, just stop. I could appreciate that.
I agree. All right, let's try to move on from that in any kind of possible way we can. Yampo,
Yeah,
anything
thanks, Nick.
Okay, well, listen, that may not have been the most uplifting, but this is going to be a little uplifting. Today is 3/21, also National Down Syndrome Day. Okay, I'll give a little shout out to my baby girl Kate, who kicking it with the extra chromosome. And
All right.
if you're not wearing your crazy socks today and repping that extra 21st chromosome, then go fuck yourself.
I did see that. For those of you that are
Well done.
for those of you that are listening that aren't tuned into any of that world, obviously being in education, we see stuff like that all the time. As far as advocacy for situations like this is what I'm trying to say. So the extra chromosome thing, this was the first year, and I don't know if it's that the first year I paid attention to it, but this was the first year that I saw that type of reference was used in the way that it was. Is that something that's consistently used within that community, or was this like a new way of promoting,
I think I'm only
you're relatively new to it.
relatively new to the community, but it seems to be a movement that is growing in numbers and steam, and so it's just creating awareness, and that kids with Down syndrome have the opportunity to be just as successful as other people and be included in everything that everyone else is doing. So it's a good message. I'll send you guys some socks.
Big ups.
Very cool.
All right.
Bubby.
Shout out to Princess Kate, Dave.
Hey, Mazel, thank you.
Aaron Judge went deep just recently tonight. Spring training game. He had 2 home runs actually. So nice to see him rounding into form.
John, him and Giancarlo are gonna go back to back.
And in the words of Paul, baseball's just around the corner. So
who's Paul?
I can't get to it. Goddamn.
Whatever, yeah, Paul. Come on.
I miss Paul.
Who?
We got to get the white man back on to make some asinine bet at the
the Mets.
On the Mets.
He's already down a hunch to all of us.
He is. That's why he hasn't come back. Little known fact with the white man. I sent the white man. This is peek back the curtain completely. For those of you who listened for a while and you've known the white man on the show, I sent the white man a Facebook friend request like a year and a half ago.
Oh, it's still sitting?
He responded to it last week, and I was like, oh. I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, who is? Oh, it's the white man. I had no idea who the hell it was when he responded to it. So either he was like, I don't know, is this guy really tight with the AMPO? Do I bother to respond to him, or is he a good guy? I don't know. I don't know if he was waiting or if he just never checks Facebook or whatever.
His Instagram, it's actually Sean. He's Sean's friend.
I still don't know who the 973 is on the text.
his check that he got from the government was pretty substantial. I saw that on social media. Got $1.20 back from the government for his taxes this year.
Oh wow!
The state charges $1.25, brah.
Oh, $1.25, pop.
So my last call here, Manu Ginobili was quoted as saying that Kawhi Leonard is not going to return.
He's not coming back.
He's not
for the whole year.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Greg Popovich.
I think I can help with the Popovich.
Oh, Sean, that was your opportunity. How long has he been coaching the Spurs? Because they were showing highlights on the local news here that the Wizards are playing in San Antonio tonight, haven't won down there since they played at the Alamo Dome in '99. And Popovich was
it's Popovich.
He was sitting on the bench. I was like, this guy's been there that long?
So Popovich has been the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs since 1988. No, I'm sorry.
No way.
1996. He was an assistant in 1988.
Oh my God, 96. Wow, that's quite a fucking run, man. 22 years.
Well, listen, when you inherit David Robinson and then he gets hurt and you tank for a year and then you get Tim Duncan and that's your roster, it's tough to walk away from, right? And it's not like he's in a hot media market of fucking San Antonio.
On a side note, if you're looking for a safe NBA bet, Spurs money line.
Okay, great.
Crickets.
Anyway, thanks for taking the time, everybody. Appreciate it. Those of you who are involved in our no cost to the consumer NCAA tournament. Chris Gannon, talking right to you. The 100 grand is within your grasp. All right, so just hang tight. I do have 2 of my Final Four left. Brett, do you have anybody left?
I have 2 of my Final Four left.
Who did you have winning?
I obviously had Virginia winning.
So that's not going to work out for you.
Obviously.
I still have Villanova alive, so I am possible. Although Timmy Eckert is, I think, right in the top 3 too. He's got Kansas winning, so who knows?
Really?
That 100 grand is totally up for grabs. So we'll see if it works out for you. Check us out on all socials at Low Outside Sport. And until next week, have a great one, everybody. We appreciate it.
Desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop. Adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. Gesundheit. Farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well.
Sean didn't even want to hang around.